Your Denver Broncos just get a massive wave of great news as they head on the road in week number 2 to face the Indianapolis Colts. We know how stacked our month of October and November are, and this is a game that the Denver Broncos absolutely need to win if they're going to make the deep run in the playoffs that we're expecting in January and February. Let me know in the comments, what do you think is the final score prediction as the Broncos are heading off to face the Indianapolis Colts? So here it is, the massive great news, and we'll leave truly the best news, but it feels like we're celebrating at another team's injury expense, which I'm not trying to do. But let's first talk about our great news. So if you look here, that every single person on the Denver Broncos injury report other than Dre Greenlaw was a full participant in practice yesterday. That is absolutely phenomenal. We know that the addition of Hufanga and Greenlaw and obviously Evan Engram really hinged on those guys staying healthy, and the one that makes me the most hyped is seeing that indeed Evan Engram did practice. Also, I think John Franklin Myers, having him in the rotation to help stop that run is just crucial, especially with Malcolm Roach going down just a couple of weeks ago. We need him to be playing to continue to bottle up that run. So Evan Engram being back is a huge addition here, and as we do not need to forget what he did in this preseason where on just one single catch here, he had like a quarter of our entire tight end production for the whole season in just one catch. He can be an absolute difference maker, and I think when the Broncos start running the ball more regularly, that type of play action pass will work. We know that because the Broncos at one point had thrown the ball 17 times to 3 rushes early in that game. The play action pass did not work, but I do not expect Sean Payton to fall for the same things that he had done before. The other piece of great news here is just seeing that Alex Singleton broke his hand again, the same exact hand that he broke earlier in the season and went out to California for surgery. He broke it again, but he is casting it up and continuing to play. He broke his thumb on a different part of the thumb. I didn't even know that was possible to break multiple parts on one thumb, but this dude is just an absolute dog, and it shouldn't be a surprise to us because we know last season he played the entire second half of a football game with one ACL, so just a very tough guy, and knowing that until Dre Greenlaw comes back, we need Alex Singleton to hold down the middle of that field. So I think that is truly a huge thing to have him back in the mix. So now, not to gloat on another team's injury report, I don't want any injuries, but we have to do the biggest celebration lap here because the Denver Broncos, in a crucial game here on the road, are playing a defensive secondary that is absolutely dinged up, and it gets even better than that. So they are going to be without both of their starting cornerbacks here, with Jalen Jones and Charvarius Ward being ruled out of this game. And these dudes are good. So you look here, Jalen Jones 2 seasons ago was the defensive player of the week for the whole AFC. He had 2 interceptions, 5 tackles, and a huge tackle in the backfield for a loss. And we've seen him be an absolute game wrecker. The ball always seems to find him. Having him out of this game is a huge addition for the Denver Broncos. We know that we don't want Sean Payton to get too pass happy, but if he does, I like our chances here, knowing that indeed they're going to be without both of these guys. And just seeing here, even just him in there's a couple practice highlights here where here's him when he was playing for the Chicago Bears. He is a ball hawk of a corner, and I love the fact that the Denver Broncos get to face this Indianapolis Colts secondary without this dude here who seems to always find the ball. But then the one who's probably even better news is their best corner here, and that is going to be Charvarius Ward. Again, a total game wrecker who we're recognizing and we're used to because he played for the Kansas City Chiefs. And at one point in time, he was one of the best corners in football. He's kind of dropped off since being a Kansas City Chief, but still has the ability to completely take over a game and lock down receivers. So I love the fact that we get to, again, play without him. Here's him in training camp, But, this is a very good Indianapolis Colts wide receiving crew, and when you hear about his performance at training camp, you're just happy that we don't have to play him. He also played for the San Francisco 49ers for a while, and again, the ball always seemed to find this guy. And so what the Indianapolis Colts are going to have to do is truly rely a lot more on zone coverage, and that was something that Bo Nix last week had a hard time with, but I think going in here knowing that this team is going to be more zone heavy, I think will definitely be in our favor here. But again, a guy who the ball always seemed to find, and a guy who you just see highlights all over. Here's him in training. That was him in training camp when I was showing Jalen Jones highlight here in just a couple seconds ago. But a great player. Glad that he is not there. So who steps in the fold for both of those guys? You were looking at guys who are playing their first ever snaps in a meaningful NFL game. And so you are seeing that it is going to be a cornerback who used to play for the for the Colorado Buffaloes, Mekhi Blackman, and Xavier Howard. And the fact that I have to read that off the screen is an indictment of just how dangerous of a situation this is for the Indianapolis Colts. And then the last thing is that one of their best defensive linemen is this guy named Laiatu Latu. He went to UCLA. And there was times even last week where you just see his ability to rush the quarterback, but then you see him drop back in coverage here and make this sick pick on Tua Tagovailoa, and then just seeing like strip sacks. This is him going against the Detroit Lions. A great first step, very strong hands. So knowing that our offensive line does not have to guard this guy, that is a very, very good thing. This is the play we just watched with Tua. And there's one more here against the Chicago Bears that was like a pretty, this one right here. Watch him here with the strip sack. This is one of the few times Caleb Williams wasn't just holding the ball too long, but you see him able to obviously just beat a tight end there and kind of chipped coverage and get that strip sack of Caleb Williams. So I don't want ill on anyone, but I love the fact that the Denver Broncos here in a game that's crucial for us to win are going to get to play up against a very beat up secondary. Now, the Indianapolis Colts, you guys, last week, they were averaging, the Miami Dolphins were averaging about 6 yards per rush, but they got down so bad and so early that they had to throw the ball way too much. And so I think this Indianapolis Colts defense, you can definitely run on them. Last year when the Broncos played the Colts, Bo Nix was the leading rusher for the Denver Broncos. That is absolutely not the recipe for success for us. And so we need to not get overly excited about the fact that they're down 2 corners, and we still need to commit ourselves to the run. But I know the Denver Broncos are in a great point here to kind of step in and do that. A couple other points here with the game is that with those receiver or those cornerbacks being down, the Indianapolis Colts will be running zone defense a lot more, and this is Bo Nix's time to step up and be like, hey, I can handle this and I can do this, because we know that the Broncos have flipped the culture of this entire organization. They have this chance here to go in and play a team who is hot and probably feeling their oats, and they've heard all week how great they are and how they're going to win their division. And the Broncos go into this game with a win, an 8-point win, which is a blowout by NFL standards, yet they feel like they're coming off of a loss. And you saw how disappointed in himself Sean Payton was and how disappointed he was in his own game plan and game calling. And so I love this situation for the Broncos where we come in fired up. The Indianapolis Colts just beat up a bad team and a team that has probably given up. I think that you're going to see Mike McDaniels on the hot seat, and do not be surprised if our defense continues to play at the level that it has, that Vance Joseph his name is thrown in the hat for Miami Dolphins head coach next season. We know Vance Joseph was a coordinator for the Indianapolis Colts for quite some time, and so those connections are already there. They already like him there. So Denver Broncos on the road, Indianapolis Colts, things could not be better from an injury standpoint. That we got everybody healthy other than Dre Greenlaw. We got a lot more on that over these coming weeks. My hope is still that we have him for the Los Angeles Chargers next week, but at the very least that we have him back for Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals in a primetime game at Mile High. So Broncos country, we are about to go in and mollywop the Indianapolis Colts because we are back, and that's something we can all believe in. Oh, I got that dude too. Oh my goodness. I have one more day to make the shot before our game. Come on. I got to dig deep, get some shots up.